a show that tackles the big issues affecting the BVI and the rest of the Caribbean. Searches for answers to today's big questions and gives viewers a unique perspective on developing stories. Follow the big story with me, Kathy Richards, only on JTV. This show is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Cyril B. Ramney Tertola Pier Park, NV Salon Spa Nail and Barbershop, the Wellness Center, Medical and Behavioral Health Clinics, Ticely Cross Deliciously Smooth Cider, HOV Medical and Digicel, simply more speed, reliability and entertainment. This is The Big Story. I'm Kathy Richards. I want to thank you so much for joining us for this edition. Today we want to be talking with and about chaplains. In studio with me are three people who are well uniformed. Almost wanted to know what the cops were doing here. But not at all. In no way are they those types of uniform persons, but you are all chaplains. I want to welcome you to The Big Story for the first time. For your information, we have with us Bishop Dr. Paul Ricketts.
That's me.
Yes, a very familiar face and voice around as well. We have Prophetess Janice Cohan, the lone woman among this group of men. And Apostle George Rodney. I want to welcome you. It's the first time I'm really seeing you. I'm thinking. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Well, it's awesome to have you here to talk about an unfamiliar topic here in the Virgin Islands. And I want to start off with you, Bishop. The call came from you, sharing the information about, what this is all about. And we thought that, yes, this is worth sharing with the territory. Give us a little background as to, this whole chaplainry.
Oh, so chaplaincy was actually birthed out of a need to answer the call of persons who are in crisis. Now I'm a part of a group called CIT, which is Crisis Intervention, but they're not first responders. And a lot of times, by the time we get to the scene, people have been dispersed and so forth. When chaplaincy, what you are, we are actually first responders. So wherever there's a crisis, we tend to show up there. We are trained as counselors and in other areas, so that we can render assistance to those who are experiencing traumatic events.
Okay, so we'll delve a little bit more into it and your involvement.
I am a chaplain as well, and train and to do as Pastor Ricketts just alluded, first responder. We do counseling. We are found in various institutions, such as the hospital, the hospice, prison, police, fire, and so forth, schools and so forth. So we are there to empower and to lend support and to serve where it is needed.
Okay, and Mr. Rodney, how long have you been involved?
Well, I think we are.
We're the first three set. We're actually the first three that graduated.
At the same time.
Yes.
Graduated at the same time, trained at the same time, and because we see the need for this type of intervention, this type of help that is necessary. Because when and where there is trauma, we realize that there's not enough people to really help in these areas, especially where the persons who are really experiencing these traumas, they need the help. Because sometimes, why it is important for us to be trained as well, because at times you need these people to open up to you, and you have to know how to really assess them and get them to say, you know, certain things, especially if their loved ones are around. Again, it depends on the type of trauma, but we are trained to cover just about any time, regardless of what it is.
Okay. Well, very familiar here in the Virgin Islands and worldwide. There are organizations like you alluded to, Red Cross. But I only recall hearing about chaplains when I was a little girl. So it seems to me, from where I sit, that this has been something that has not been so prevalent for quite some time. Am I wrong?
No, you're right about that, especially in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
In the United States of America, you know, wherever there is a traumatic event, then you'll find chaplains. But in the Caribbean, it's a little bit new to the Caribbean for a while. When you think about the BVI, to be exact, was about, like I said, I'm a part of CIT from about 2010. And we have certain issues where we are not there most of the times when the event is ongoing. By the time we get there, most of the times, people are dispersed and so forth. And so a couple of years ago, I started thinking we need to do something better than this. So I reached out to a couple of persons, started finding how can we get people to be trained to be chaplains there. That's how the entire, so we actually started the process of walking. And gradually, about 3 years ago, we came across something from Georgia and decided, you know what, let's sign up, let's be the first, sign up and start the ball rolling. Right now, we have had 4 graduations. And so we have about 12 or 13 persons, and we have 1 person presently being trained and should be finishing a couple weeks. And the next set will start sometime in August. The intention is to get a number of persons involved so that we can better serve the BVI, like I said. You know.
So that training that you talk about, is it happening locally, or you have to go overseas to be trained, or you partner with other organizations like Red Cross for this type of training?
So not Red Cross as yet. We partner with a school out of Georgia, and it's called a college actually. Emmet, and Emmet is offering what is called Global Chaplaincy Alliance, which is a number of various chaplains institutions across the world. You know, Nigeria, Libya, all about. Jamaica have already done their launch. We have a couple of persons in Trinidad and so forth and so forth. So we are spreading out gradually, little by little. As I said, offering help and assistance to those who are going through traumatic events.
What qualifies you to become a chaplain, or to register to get trained as a chaplain?
Well, for me, personally, my spiritual background as a minister who already involved in counseling, because chaplaincy is not just about going out there in the event of, you know, major traumas and all of that. Counseling is very important, and they are integrated. So based on my spiritual background, I thought, you know, adding this to what I've already known, it's a very good thing to get into. And if I may say, when I think back, you know, in earlier years, chaplaincy, the word chaplaincy has been around for some time, but very limited. You know, they had it like, you know, maybe 1 to probably an institution. They would say, okay, you'll be the chaplaincy for the hospital, and you'll be chaplaincy for the prison, and, you know, or for a funeral home or something like that. And that was about it as far as we knew. But apparently they didn't see the need for, you know, further intervention and more spiritual counseling as well, because there's a side where we can give the other part of counseling, but there's the spiritual side where you need spiritual, enablers to pursue that area in the lives of individual. Example, in the case of marriage, you need that.
Well, to tell you the truth, my recollection of chaplains was at funerals.
Yes.
Basically funerals, and sometimes when you go to hospitals, you hear about chaplains, and you thought at that time, for me, I thought it only surrounded a Christian setting. Is that a fact, or it's beyond just being Christians?
It's beyond that.
It's beyond that.
It's beyond
But the truth is that where chaplaincy is and how it started, most chaplains are really Christians. Because while it is true that we are using a lot of theories that doesn't necessarily have a spiritual connotation to it, because counseling is broader than just saying to a person that you need to pray, because we're beyond that. But what is also truthful is that as chaplains, we must first know the person that we are leading other people to. Our job is not to proselyte people and to turn them into Christian. That's not the first driving force behind chaplaincy. Our intent is to bring people who are hurting and frustrated and seeking for help, to bring help to them. And that might not necessarily mean even mentioning Jesus. It might mean just giving a cup of water. It could simply mean just helping them to sort out certain basic things. When you have a crisis, most of the times people are not thinking straight. Need somebody to help them to make calls, or somebody to just basically be there to stand alongside them and to let them know that they are supported and so forth. And if that's what we do, how we see it as chaplains is that as chaplains, while many Christians wait for people to come to church, chaplains don't wait for people to come to church. Wherever a person is, on the side of a street, on a boat someplace, on an airport, God forbid it to be so, a crash or whatever it is, we show up at the scene and try to bring calmness and clarity and try to help people to understand how to go out of this difficult condition.
So we have here two men, one woman, which begs me to question how great is the involvement of women in this chaplaincy?
Oh, it's tremendously great, as I would say, because some people call it a men's world. Like
Yeah, the man's world.
Women shouldn't preach, or women shouldn't pastor, women shouldn't do this. But now I believe the word of the Lord says you are neither male nor female. You just need to have a heart for people. You just need to have the heart that Jesus Christ has. His main focus was people. It's wherever there is situation, Jesus is there. And so I do not see myself, yes, I'm a female, but I don't see myself as that. I just have a heart for people. This has not just happened from I was younger, or I should say a child. I never want to see people hurt, and there's nothing I can do about it. So if you're hurting, I'm going to put myself there to bring some sort of solace to you until you get back on your feet, and so on. So this is what drives me to that area of ministry. I serve, I love to serve, and I love to see people smile. I love to put a smile on somebody's face. Like, I wake up this morning, but my day turned out to be such a disaster. But at the end of my ministering or serving to that person or persons, I'm able to, say, wow, what a difference you make. And that's what I think we're here for.
Could I also add to this? Because in the whole issue of women being a part of chaplaincy, our leader, actually, the person in charge of Global Chaplaincy Alliance, is actually a woman.
Okay.
Monica Dennis Jones, actually, she hailed originally from Jamaica. I would have met her some almost 40-something years ago. Last time I would have seen her in person was 39 years ago while I was graduating from high school. So we actually went to the same high school in Jamaica. Okay. All right, so she's not living in Ireland. So that's the first thing. We started out with more men in the BVI, but of the 13 of us who are here now, only about 4 or 5 of us are men, the rest are women.
Oh, okay.
So the women have
Right,
zipped.
okay.
Oh yes. They're both overtaking us, right? Yeah, right. So and very soon we are going to, like with most entities, we are going to be having 2-3 times the amount of women to men. So right, there is no biasness where that is concerned.
Oh.
Women serve just as effective, and even sometimes because women tend to have empathy, a lot more empathy than men.
Yes.
And so they serve a lot better than if you're not careful.
Oh, he just said better.
Yes.
No, I think women tends to empathize, put themselves in the situation, whether it's male or female. You are able to identify with the situation. You cannot really serve and meet the need of the people until you find themselves. As Paul says, I become all things to all men. Mm-hmm. It's not just I want to do that. I'm rigid here, I'm limited here. I become all things. So if you're in the dirt, I need to come down to the in order to
Let's
lift
get
you
dirty
up.
together.
Yes.
Yes.
In order to lift you out of it.
Okay.
My objection is not for you, or our objection is not for you to stay there. It's for you to rise. Yeah.
Get washed off, clean up, and go again.
I think we are all equally.
Equally.
All right.
All right.
Yes.
And it's time we get away from the myth that this is a man's world or
Woman's
male
world.
dominance,
Okay.
because it's really not true. They tend to look at it because maybe a few male, which is in the minority, might be in a great position, and they just label that as it's a man's world. But when you look at it, the truth of the matter is, who are the most imprisoned? Men. Who are the most on the street corners? Men. Who do less or in school? Men. So how could it be a male dominance? Where is the dominance? You understand? So again, why it is so important with having female, because we might, as male, approach a client, and they would very much rather to open to a female than a male. So if we go on a scene like that and we realize that, okay, you know what, this is a case for Prophetess Cohen. So there's no point staying there and try to bash
break
or
and
batter. No.
force
From
your
the time,
way in.
because assessment is important first. We assess the situation.
Yes.
So we must be, sensitive enough to know, okay, this is Prophetess Cohen's case.
Okay.
And there's no point trying to fight it,
Okay.
So it's equally
The face
valuable.
of the face of youth in this.
Youthfulness. We do have a couple persons. How old is Javon?
26 years.
26.
Today, yes.
Right. So he might be the youngest one, possible.
Happy belated birthday.
Right. I think he's the youngest one who's probably been trained. I'm not sure. I think we have a couple of persons in their 20s. So, the intention is, how do you have continuity unless you have a good succession plan?
Yes.
So, while I am still within the summer of my life, but the winter is coming. And so we have to make sure that we have the younger ones in the backdrop also
Yes.
getting ready. And so this is one of the organizations where it's not even about age. Once you're willing to be trained,
Yes.
once you have
Heart for it.
a heart, a driving passion, there's a passage of scripture that I love to quote. It's about the man by the pool of Bethsaida. When Jesus got to him, and to understand the whole essence of chaplaincy, Jesus, knowing that he was there a long time, Jesus asked him, will thou be made whole? That's the question that Jesus asked. The response had nothing to do with the question. The gentleman said, I have no one. The issue wasn't, I've been sick for a long time, and the only reason why I'm still stuck here is because I have no one. As chaplains, we take away that excuse.
Yes.
Wherever people are at their bedside, wherever people are struggling and looking for somebody to help them to make that first
Yes.
step, we show up as chaplains so that you can't say you don't have anyone. We become the shoulder for you to lean on, the hand that will take your hand and walk along with you along the journey until you're at a better place. So hopefully, if Jesus, should return in person, you wouldn't find a lot of person at Bethsaida because we would have gone to Bethsaida and helped them to
You
move
would have
on.
done the job.
Yes,
You would have done the
yes,
job.
yes.
Beautiful conversation, and this is leading into what you're about to do. I think it's this weekend.
This weekend.
Yeah, tell us.
This weekend on Sunday afternoon at 5:30 at Sanctuary of Hope, South Valley, Virgin Gorda, we're going to officially launch chaplaincy in the BVI. Now, what do we mean by that? Because while a number of us have been trained, and as you have heard, we have had 4 graduations and heading for a 5th, but we are going to officially launch chaplaincy to become a part of, not just something in the backdrop. We are hoping to integrate into society and be able to help where we can and to make a difference, hopefully.
Yes.
And so this weekend we have our leader, Dr. Monica. She's actually traveling as we speak. She should be heading to Fort Lauderdale from Atlanta and then down to St. Thomas tonight. And tomorrow a group of them will come in and they'll be here for a couple of days with us. And then on Sunday afternoon at 5:30, we're going to have this wonderful, tremendous launch in which we're going to talk more about chaplaincy, what it is that we do and how people can be trained and so forth and so forth. And so we're excited about that. Based on where the ecclesiastic affair is now, we're under the Premier's office.
Yeah.
Used to be under Minister of Education. So,
It's that type of organization
Yes,
where you fall under
ma'am.
government.
Yes.
Yes, we are well organized. This is not just some hurricane, by night.
No, by no means.
We have done our homework. So the Premier, I'm not sure if he's going to be here this weekend. I think he's traveling along with Igwe, Caroline Stott Igwe. She is the Permanent Secretary. Right. We have sorted out all that we can where they are concerned, so they know that we are doing this. And we'll continue to move forward and build chaplaincy to the place where, like I said, that we become a household name, hopefully, in the BVI. And wherever there's trauma, that you'll see one of us.
Yes.
Right? And so we want, since I'm right there, I want to say
Yes.
to those who have a heart for ministry and a heart for helping people,
Yes.
and want to just have the tools that are necessary. Sometimes people have a willingness and they might be available, but they don't know how to get the job done.
Yes.
We train you. We get you trained, and so that you can better do the job and be more effective. So if you're there and you have a heart for ministry and you want to help people move from their rugged plains and their place of
Yes.
struggles, you can reach out to us and we will make sure that we have you trained, and in no time at all you'll have your uniform on and doing like we are doing.
So when the team comes down, the BVI will be flooded with this kind of uniform.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, this is your identity.
Yes.
Right, but we want the jacket is just for TV.
Yes.
For
Right, formal.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do have we wear t-shirts, and for the most,
Yes.
right. So this weather is too warm.
For jacket.
Yeah,
Caribbean, right?
Yes, we
Yeah.
Caribbean.
Yes.
Right, so we have to dress it out.
So if persons want to get in contact with you, want to know more, or even participate on Sunday, how do they reach out to you?
Okay, so my number is easy to remember. I think most persons know it. 441-5541. I've had the same number for years. That's 441-1284, 441-5541. And I can pass on the rest of the numbers. So,
Okay. Is there a social media platform established yet for chaplains?
No, we're actually working on that. We do have the overseas base, but we don't have one locally.
Local one.
Right.
Okay.
So you can go to Global Chaplaincy Alliance online and actually, can click on the links.
Yes.
And actually, our faces are there too, because you'll see the different chaplains from the BVI.
Yes.
You can see us all line up there and so forth.
So
And
right there
for
on the BVI section,
Yes.
all the graduates, all the trainees are there. So you can, with our contact number there, or you can reach out to anyone.
Yeah.
And they will be able to direct you to any one of us in the BVI.
Right.
Awesome. So we can say the needs are being answered. The call for more persons to show care and provide support physically, spiritually, and socially is being answered.
It's
And
been
we hear it
answered.
here in you, guys and lady, through chaplaincy. It's awesome to know that this is, taking its place. It's growing, and I wish you guys every success in the development of this. And
you.
we know that we have more people to call on. We can
Yes.
call on a Red Cross. We can call on this organization. We could call on that organization, and we can also call on the chaplains.
Yes.
Yes,
The chaplains
yes,
are
yes,
on
yes.
the
Oh,
ground. Yeah.
That's for
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
Because I sat here and I'm thinking back in 2017.
After the
for
storm.
We
yes,
were really
yes,
needed
yes,
then,
yes.
because
Yes.
I find myself back then, I had to counsel lawyers in my office.
Yes.
It was that bad. One lawyer said to me, he said, I don't know how you do it, but I can handle it. You know,
Well,
so-
this shows that we are on the road to recovery.
Yeah.
Though it may
Yeah.
have been how many years ago, we are still recovering, and
Yes.
it's happy. We are so happy to see the the board, the resurgence of chaplaincy in the territory. Thank you so much for coming by. Don't be a stranger to the set. We'll be willing and able, as always, to share and to have you to impart to the people of this territory and beyond. And I want to thank you so much for joining us for this edition of The Big Story. I'm Kathy Richards.
We know that where you choose to bank matters, and it is your vote on what your funds do in strengthening our community. As your official Bank of Paradise, we invest and support the lifeblood of our economy by helping in the realization of personal goals for homeownership, education, and entrepreneurial visions, which support small businesses. We make it our place to connect with persons and worthy causes, and we have been doing so for more than 30 years. Where your money goes and what your dollars empower are your choice. And we thank you for choosing us, a bank that gives where it matters the most, for you, for our community, and a happier tomorrow. The National Bank of the Virgin Islands.
Everyone looks to the future, but no one truly knows what the future holds.
The number of people under the age of 20 with type 2 diabetes could increase by 49% by 2050. Let it be known that we all have a 30% chance of developing hypertension.
Globally, more than 300 million people of all ages suffer from depression.
More than 60,000 young adults aged 20 to 39 are diagnosed with cancer each year. Obesity leads to problems such as stroke, heart disease, and kidney failure.
No matter your race, age, or color, we are all at risk.
These diseases can be managed or prevented if caught early.
But with the right medicine and the right doctors to keep us on a path to live a robust and healthy life.
We will live well.